August 1st, 2025. Thank you for being here, starting a new month with me. I hope you're doing well. Tracking the possibility of some development out of a tropical wave that's not doing a whole lot right now. We actually have two tropical waves moving by. One that's moving by Puerto Rico, another one about to move into Barbados. We have some extra shower storms, kind of spotty. We've had some around Dominica, St. Vincent the Grenadines, a couple spotty showers around St. Lucia. I want to highlight that for us in the Eastern Caribbean. But as this moisture lifts its way up toward the Bahamas, Florida, and potentially the Gulf, there could be some development. Also watching between the southeast coast of the U.S. and Bermuda for the potential of development. And look at that. That is Gill out there. I want to cover the eastern Pacific side in just a moment. Lots to cover. So let's take you through it. Let me zoom down here. We've had a couple little spotty showers overnight and early this morning near the Cayman Islands. Over toward Jacmel, Boston Blue, and Haiti, we've had a few. And watching this little pocket getting closer to Nicaragua and Costa Rica. Mexico, some heavier rain in some spots. And here we go with a couple hit or miss showers. Even Antigua, Barbuda, Guadalupe, St. Kitts and Nevis, we may get some showers. This is not all day stuff, but our rain chance has gone up a little bit for some of us in the Eastern Caribbean, and we've been dry in many spots. So that is some good news. Then shooting out here we are in the Caribbean. Here's the second tropical wave that's about to move in. It's this one that may eventually develop somewhat as we slide over to the Bahamas, but bigger tropical waves sliding off. But these are going to run into some of the dust and dry air. The tropical waves back behind those are the ones that will have a better chance of developing as we get into later this month. So let me highlight this area here. So we have one tropical wave sliding through the Caribbean, but highlighting this one will keep our spotty showers around in the Eastern Caribbean. And thank you for your trust. I've been mentioning how in the short term this was not going to develop, and it didn't, but it will give us some scattered rain, which I want to cover for us island by island. Eventually, some of this rain pulls through Puerto Rico, parts of the Dominican Republic, and lifts its way up toward the Bahamas. At this point down the road, and I'll show you that, there may be some development. Some of the models want to shoot this tropical wave into the Gulf where it develops some. The American model tries to eventually develop this into a tropical storm. The European model actually goes back and forth. Some of the models actually bring this moisture a little bit more up toward that front that's off the coast of the Carolinas and then try to develop something. So as I mentioned, from the Carolinas through Bermuda, chance of some development, and then I'll monitor this through the Bahamas and then trying to lift back toward the Gulf. Just a slight chance at this point, but it's an area that I'll be watching. Now we look at this map. This here is the European model, a behind the scenes look at it over the next 10 days. The brighter colors are picking out where there might be a potential of a tropical depression forming. Not quite a named storm, could be a named storm, but a tropical depression or something stronger forming. And it does highlight this spot back in the northern Gulf, and I do believe that's because of our tropical wave that will eventually move by. Plus, off the southeast coast of the United States, there's just going to be a lot of stuff out here, right? A lot of rain and storms that will build, so something may spin up in this area too. So a couple areas watching for development. Longer term though, later this month, I mentioned the stronger tropical waves that will eventually come off and not have the dust and dry air around. There's going to be more moisture later this month in the atmosphere and less dust. We're about to get out of the dust season, so eventually we'll see some stronger tropical waves developing in the open waters of the Atlantic, and I'll monitor those as they move toward the Caribbean. Short term, with a couple tropical waves around, they do feed some energy. They get some energy from the very warm water temperatures, but above our heads, conditions are not conducive for development. That is a good thing in the short term. Longer term, watching that, and you see the water temperatures even hotter back through the Bahamas, near Cuba, back through the northern and eastern Gulf, right? Very warm waters, around 90 degrees Fahrenheit in spots, 31, 32 degrees Celsius. So as that tropical wave marches across days from now, there is that chance of some development. Short term, some of the dust around. So here we are in the Caribbean, here we are in Jamaica, Cayman Islands, Haiti, the DR, Puerto Rico. Some of that dust around St. Martin, Saba. We've had some of that dust back through Antigua, Barbuda, the U.S. and British Virgin Islands, some of that dust. And then we get another round of that. This here is by Sunday into Monday. You see some of that dust that kind of moves in again. So in the short term, that prevents some development for us in the Eastern Caribbean. course, adds to some breathing issues. It acts like an allergen, acts like kind of pollen almost, so it could lead to some extra breathing issues. But after that pocket of dust moves away, some more moisture overall builds in the open waters of the Atlantic. So let me show you what I'm seeing. And a lot of the models kind of agreeing with this initial scenario. Not much development, but I'll zoom down for us in the Caribbean in a second, watching the tropical waves sitting offshore. But as these tropical waves march across, this in here, you see this green? That's actually some of the dust around. So with that dust, there's a lot of sinking air, so showers and storms can't build up, so conditions less conducive for development in the short term. But let me jump ahead here. Again, I'll go hour by hour in just a moment. Watching these fronts here to see if anything spins up, but here comes that tropical wave, as I mentioned, moving near Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic late Sunday into Monday. So you see it right in through here, and then let me go on time here, Monday into Tuesday, and then you see by Tuesday. Now for us in the Bahamas, I'm not seeing any development on Tuesday, right? But we are going to have some additional rain. For some of us, that will be welcome. But I know the water is very, very, very warm, so I watch out for any signs of anything spinning up quickly. Got you covered right here. Back out here, still some of the dust, as I mentioned, with those new tropical waves sliding off the coast of Africa. Then going out in time here, what happens is the American model works this rain across over towards, say, the Florida Keys and parts of Cuba, and then keeping an eye in this area here off the coast of the mid-Atlantic where something may try to spin up next week. Could be a brief tropical storm trying to develop, and there are some of those tropical waves we're watching in the Atlantic. But this spot here, the American model is trying to develop this into a tropical depression or tropical storm later next week. That's way out in time. This is a week from now. We'll see if that does happen. So watching this spot here, watching this area here, but as I mentioned, some of the other models draw in some of the moisture and kind of just tie it into what's going on up here. And then watching these new tropical waves moving across. But you see down the road, while we start to get some more tropical waves, the dust, it's not as much, right? This is a week from now, the dust starts to leave, and then that will give a higher potential of some of the tropical waves to develop. So just to recap, again, a tropical wave moving through the Eastern Caribbean may try to develop, low chance as it works its way up in here, keeping an eye on this spot here, and then eventually monitoring those new tropical waves and lesser dust. It should be more active mid to late August, which is common as we get deeper into the hurricane season. Most of the hurricane season is still ahead of us. You can see two tropical waves here. This is the kind of closer look for us. Let me go out in time here. So hit or miss showers. Let me know in the comment section if you get a couple for today. By tomorrow, generally the same thing. Maybe a little bit more of a couple showers squeaking in to Trinidad and Tobago. Hit or miss. Jamaica, Haiti, Cuba could get a couple stronger storms, but a lot of us still dry. And then as we work our way into Sunday, you can see here by Sunday, here's that tropical wave. It's even hard to kind of find. It's sitting right in through here. So Haiti, the DR, Puerto Rico, parts of the U.S. and British Virgin Islands back through the Turks and Caicos. We could get some of that rain that will be around in some spots. And then that moisture kind of feeds in up toward the north on Monday. This will be the area to watch for some future development. And then by Monday, you see some of the rain building, Honduras, parts of Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Panama. So lots of areas to kind of monitor together. Not seeing any rapid signs of development yet, but you could get the sense that we're getting an uptick in some overall activity. Now for today, here's some of that action pulling off the Atlantic region of Canada. Heavier storms in the Carolinas. I'll zoom down in a moment. And watching the plains for that threat of some severe storms the next few days. But this is that area that will just kind of build with rain and just push off over toward the very warm water. That's why I mentioned while we're watching one tropical wave, there could be something trying to spin up right in through here. So just monitoring this Sunday, Monday into next week to see if something does try to develop. Anytime you get that area of rain sitting over the very warm water, there is that chance of some development. Out here, this is Gil. You can see Gil here. Now here we are in Mexico, keeping an eye on Mexico carefully. And even as you get back toward California, we've seen systems kind of work their way up over the last couple of years. Here's Hawaii. Now Gil, very strong right now. I'll show you that in a moment. But overall, there'll be a weakening trend out of that. as that approaches Hawaii. So that's overall some good news. You see by Monday and here substantially weakening at that point. So it doesn't appear to be a crazy threat to Hawaii or anything of that matter, but watching more action here in the eastern and central Pacific as we work our way into Monday. There'll be additional named systems, and then as we work our way deeper into next week, you see here what's left of Gills up here, but then we have a couple more spots that we'll be watching. This one and through here should stay offshore as it develops, so there may be some additional rain for southern Mexico, so I'll monitor that as we go out in time. But here is Gil. Winds right now at about 65, 70 miles per hour, but they are going to increase, so they're running at about 110 kilometers an hour now, but then it will become a hurricane, but then it should weaken. It will weaken by the time it gets a bit closer to the Hawaiian Islands. Now, as far as the rain goes, I'll zoom up to the north in just a second. Spotty showers, right? Jamaica, hit or miss. We could get a strong storm, no doubt, but a lot of us staying dry. Haiti and the Dominican Republic, watching out for some spotty storms. Same thing back through Puerto Rico, watching Tortola, back through St. Croix, Anguilla, St. Martin, St. Bart's, back through Montserrat. Some of the dust mixed in with those spotty showers, especially today and tomorrow. We could get a few spots of about 25 millimeters of rain. Some islands staying dry, others seeing the scattered showers just like we have right now. I'll be watching your comments, and then you see some of the areas of rain. Southeastern Caribbean, we could get a few more totals with some repeat showers approaching 50 millimeters of some rain. Not as much Suriname, Guyana, the rain chance has gone down some. Interior and western sections of Venezuela, chance of some of that flooding. Monitoring Costa Rica, Panama for some of that rain. Central areas of Panama, watching Colombia, and then southeastern sections of Nicaragua. Again, elsewhere it's going to be spotty. Yucatan Peninsula, Merida, back through Belize, Belize City, Guatemala, hit or miss rain. Mexico City, still some of that rain that will be around. And then you see it just kind of getting more active. Watching over toward the Dallas area, scattered areas of rain. Southeast coast of the U.S., that's where it could get 3 to 4 inches of rain with a lot of these thunderstorms around. But with repeat storms around, you could see that back through North Carolina, South Carolina, the I-95 corridor. That's where there could be several inches of rain over the last few days. That's the moisture that will try to pull off into the Atlantic and try to develop a bit. All right, so with a couple tropical waves moving by, got a bit of a chop watching the northeastern Caribbean, the Atlantic passageways. Nothing super crazy, but at times, heads up, interest on the water. It's going to be bumpier south of Jamaica by tomorrow, and then as we work our way right in through this spot here, and this may overall stay choppy, working its way back through the Turks and Caicos and Bahamas again as we get into next week, and the seas will stay elevated off the coast of the Carolinas with a lot of those fronts that will be driving by. 30% chance of isolated storms for us in Jamaica the next couple of days. And then as we work our way through the Cayman Islands, a 40% chance today, because I showed you some of that moisture that is nearby, parts of Cuba, back through the Cayman Islands. Trinidad and Tobago today, isolated showers, but it does build some. I showed you that better chance of rain, right, with the modeling. We're going to see a few more showers starting to work in as we work our way through the weekend for some of us. Barbados, today and tomorrow, we have a 50% chance. There's scattered showers around now in St. Lucia, 50% chance today, 40% chance tomorrow, and a 40 to 50% chance through the weekend in Grenada. Some spotty showers around St. Vincent and the Grenadines, especially St. Vincent today. Better chance of getting some of the rain. We have some of the showers around Martinique and Dominica right now scattered about. We'll see that throughout the entire day. About a 50% chance, and same thing as we work our way through Guadeloupe, watching out for that chance of some rain. Antigua, Barbuda, rain chance was running at 10 to 20%. It is up. We have some scattered showers around. Let me know if we get any showers throughout the day. 30 to 40% chance. Not super high, right? But St. Kitts and Nevis, Anguilla, St. Bart's, there is that chance of some spotty showers the next few days. Same thing, St. Martin, Saba, and Statia. 30 to 40% chance across Puerto Rico. Building some as we go throughout the weekend. Some stronger storms possible. 30 to 40% chance as well. U.S. and British Virgin Islands. Bahamas, we'll be watching as we work our way into next week with the tropical wave moving in. Got us covered. I'll watch out to see if we get any development development out of that. But either way, I'll be tracking some of the rain. Rain chance about 20%, Turks and Caicos, building some in the Dominican Republic once we get that next tropical wave moving in. And you can see by Sunday, building in Haiti. Heads up, we could get some stronger storms. That could lead to some dangerous river crossings. 30% chance back through Belize. We're looking at an isolated chance. Aruba, Curacao, Bonaire, mainly dry. About a 20, maybe 30% chance of a shower popping up. Rain chance at about 50% through the weekend in Guyana. 40 to 50% chance this weekend in Suriname. In scattered thunderstorms, even some scattered showers, but also some thunderstorms with the daytime heating back through Cuba, Costa Rica, and Panama. Rain chance starts to go up, especially Panama over the next couple of days. 40 to 50% chance in Nicaragua, mainly southern sections. 30% chance in Honduras the next couple of days, and a 40 to 50% chance Guatemala and El Salvador. But around Mexico City today, monitoring that flood threat, we get over toward Campeche, back through Cancun, Cozumel, Merida. Rain chance spotty in nature. Northern Colombia, 30 to 40% chance, and watching northern Venezuela for some scattered showers. More of it, though, as I mentioned, central and western sections. In Bermuda, these fronts coming off the coast of the east coast of the U.S. will bump up our rain chance, especially on Sunday. We'll be up to about a 50% chance. So a tropical wave moving in. Scattered showers, but as that works its way toward the Bahamas, a monitor for some development. Stronger waves emerging. In the short term, they're surrounded by dust. Longer term, the dust is going to go away, and then we'll start to see more development in the open waters of the Atlantic. I'll be watching your comments throughout the day. Hope you have a wonderful day ahead.